lunar eclipse بيكون كسوف الحلقي
solar eclipse
solar eclipse
eclipse
Peter,
This is proper Hollywood studio stuff.
it's called...
You think it'll never happen to you,
Another late night?
Let's get out of here.
but it did. I owe money everywhere.
another money
I think I've lost everything. We're bankrupt.
against gender-based violence simply won't end.
Uname Mayana was raped,
Protests
assaulted,
exploded in
and
Cape Town
murdered.
following the rape and murder of 19-year-old student.
In South Africa, a woman is murdered every 3 hours. It's a statistic so numbing we turn a blind eye, leaving what happens in the dark in the dark. For 16 days of activism, SA's only woman-focused insurer brought it into the light.
Well, le diperekisi. Mara! He a ka kgona ho le betha ka sebebe. Ha o sa le le ninja. Shumishang phuthi ya ho fofa. Le a itseba phuthi. E tsebeng, tsebeng. Ari, ka ka bone di tsebeng. Tsebeng. Good. Arieng, iyang khamandwa. Ka mogala wena 4.
O tsena o le moithuti wa tswa o le matwetwe BBC Earth channel 184 pro DStv Premium fela.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be with all of you again. Thank you all for joining us. Just in case you need a recap, my name is Preetesh Sewraj. I'm the CEO of the Loeries, and today's going to be a very special day because this is our first ever Loeries Creative Hour, and it's so good to have all of you join us. I'm also joined by Khumalo, my colleague at the Loeries. Sneh, if you do want to switch on your camera, please go for it, and you can say hello to everyone really quickly. So while Sneh's just preparing to get her camera on. So what's interesting is this time we're not going to have our usual Loeries Creative Hour where we're going to chat to an amazing creative or someone from our industry and hear their stories, but we are going to have an amazing chat with Sneh where we're going to discuss how to enter, how to get your entries in. I think what's really special about it. Sneh, can you hear us? Just quickly checking. Let's ask Sneh to switch on her camera and switch on her mic. So what's really special about our chat today is that we're going to find out the secrets that you need to be able to enter the Loeries and to be able to go down this journey of actually winning. I think what's really important for all of us and to highlight is that it's been tough. It's been a tough few months, and we have to address that. We have to accept this. But the beauty of all of this is that what we absolutely know is that creativity thrives, and creativity is continuing to do fantastically well despite any of the challenges that we have. And our job as the Loeries is to be here to support every single one of you. The truth is that winning a Loerie isn't just an accolade that's nice to have, or is something we do just because we as the creative industry want to pat ourselves on the back. In truth, what this is it is an opportunity to actually highlight game-changing creativity that has the ability to move society forward. Game-changing creativity that is breaking down stereotypes, and most importantly, game-changing creativity that is keeping our economy and society across Africa and the Middle East strong and healthy, despite the challenges that we may be facing. Sneh has been having a little bit of internet challenges, I can see, so she should be able to join us in a few minutes. When she does join us, she'll be able to take us through some of the key insights and key presentations that we've prepared to highlight just the process and how it actually enters. What's also important is, for every single one of you who are part of this process, is to know that this is a question and answer session. So if you would like to share any questions, please, at the bottom part of your screen, the bottom right-hand side, you'll see there's a Q&A function. Please feel free to use the Q&A function, and we'll be able to basically highlight your question. If you want to chat, and if you actually want to ask a question out live, we do have Clocky and Prudence, the amazing Loeries team, the PR team behind the scenes. So if you do want to ask it in camera, please highlight this to them, and they'll be able to promote you to a panelist for that section, and then you should be able to ask your question out live. But if you don't want to go on camera and you don't want to have everyone have a look at your background and have a chat to you, then we're able to actually go out and just answer your questions out there live itself. While we wait through for Snare to actually join us, maybe I can give you some key insights and some information about what is actually happening with the Loeries these days. So one of the key things we've looked at is last year we made entries free, and this was to support the industry. And in doing so, we had a fantastic record of some of the best insights that actually came out of the creative industry. We had over 5,000 entries from across Africa and the Middle East, and these entries gave us a really good feel of how society and how the creative industry was actually coping with all of the challenges that were being faced during this time itself. One of the challenges is obviously, as Snare's been experiencing, is the internet is always one of those things that you're never going to have correct. And I guess all of us who have had to sit in these Zoom meetings and team meetings have experienced this as well, where there's always a challenge trying to get the technical side right. But anyway, so we made entries free, and we looked at it and we went, what can we do this year from a cost perspective to make it free? Now, the important thing is, as you all know, the Loeries is a non-profit organization. Every single cent that we earn as an organization goes directly back into the creative industry to support it and to ensure that the creative industry is strong and vibrant and has a strong creative voice out there as well. And last year we chose to make entries free, which was something that I have to admit that was really tough for the Loeries organization, but was the right thing to do. Financially, it was really, really difficult, but it was the right thing to do. And we looked at that and go, how do we continue the same spirit into this year as well to make a bit of a change and to make a difference? And the way we've actually done this is by this year, making the entries, like basically pegging the price to the 2019 price until the 3rd of May. So that means anyone who enters the Loeries up until the 3rd of May will be paying exactly the same rate that somebody did in 2019, which is amazing. But first, I'm going to welcome Snare. Snare, welcome to the call.
Hi, Preetesh. Thank you. Hello to everyone, and thank you for having me as part of this installation of our Loeries Creative Hour.
Amazing. Congratulations. Well, one I would say is congratulations to Snare and the team for all the amazing work that they did last year in the awards and being able to pull this off. I know it was no mean feat and it was really, really tough one. Snare, maybe just to start off before we kick into the actual awards, can you give us an insight? I mean, you've been at the Loeries a long time. I'm coming up for a year. You've been working with the Loeries for many, many years. What were your thoughts in terms of the level of creativity that we're actually seeing in the industry right now?
Our theme last year was create change, and through all of the entries that we received, all of the entries that we processed, and just having sat in all of the judging sessions just with the judges, I saw people really raise the bar and really submit work that did actually create change. So yeah.
Amazing, fantastic. So as part of that same journey of creating change, we're now moving to recognizing that every single one of you in this call is going through a challenge. There's a fight. We're still having to work from home certain times, dodgy internet reception, and still having to deliver on the work that we need to do. So therefore, this year our theme is fight the good fight, where we're reminding everyone that you're not in this just for the heck of it. You really, it's this passion for for creating game-changing communication and creativity is the reason that we're all in this, and we're celebrating that and acknowledging that this year. And therefore, what we want to see this year is the entries that really show us everyone who's fighting this good fight. So Sneh, maybe handing off over to you, can you maybe share, share the presentation, the insights that you have in terms of how we go through this entry process and how people can get the entries in?
Okay, great. Firstly, I'd like to welcome everyone to season 3 of Loeries Creative Hour. I'm joined by my CEO, Preetesh, and we are talking submissions, how to win a Loerie, and stay at the top of our official rankings. Loeries 2021 entries are open, and we are seeing some work come through. We really are excited to see what the industry has been up to, what everyone's been working on. I know that, people have been on pitches, booked for shoots, new clients. So we are really anticipating to see how you fight the good fight.
Amazing, fantastic. And so talk us through the entry process. How do people get their entries in, and what are some of the key things that we need to know about for Loeries 2021?
Cool. So yeah, if I can draw your attention to my screen, you will see that we have created a presentation for you on how to bag that Loerie, how to bring home a Loerie. So I'm going to start with just letting you know that our panels are represented by industry experts who come together to reward all of the amazing work. So the jury is really your target audience. Remember that, they are viewing many entries, and what you want to do is make sure that your work stands out and explains the important nuances of your entry. So
sorry, Snan, just to add about that as well is, what's really important is, and I can see on the call, we have some people who have been jury members already. I think everyone knows how strict we are in terms of the work, in terms of ensuring that this truly is the prime examples of creative communication. And therefore, what you need to remember is that the jury is made up, and it's a long, tedious process of choosing jury presidents to jury members and everything we go. We're very strict about this. And just so you know, not anyone can just be a jury member. I get a number of emails where people go, Preetesh, it's my dream to be a Loeries judge. Please put me on the jury. And we have to go, nope, you absolutely cannot. You have to have put the time in the industry. You have to have won a Loerie or judged other awards globally and basically globally or regionally before you can be considered to be a Loeries jury president. So therefore, in terms of being a jury member, it's quite an accolade to be a Loeries jury member. And therefore, when you're speaking to this audience, always keep in mind that how do you influence individuals who have actually been exposed to work on a global scale, not just within Africa and the Middle East? So go for it.
Thank you. So yeah, as I was saying, because we have sat in the discussions where judges are sitting down in panels and really going through the work, and what they are looking for is work that always rises to the top in every single category. And work that does that is work that really takes innovation, quality of execution, relevance to the brand, relevance to target audience, relevance to chosen medium, and really responds to that in a way that will almost guarantee them a gold. So whenever you craft your entry and sort of just, putting together all of your submissions into Loeries 2021, it is key that you consider the 5 criteria, because that is what the judges use to weight your work. And all of these 5 criteria have equal weighting. So innovation is just as important as quality of execution, relevance to the brand, relevance to the target audience, and relevance to the target medium.
Well, actually, I'm gonna change that a little bit. I'm gonna stop you right there. Now, actually, one of the things I do want to highlight is actually innovation is the most important metric. So you can have the best quality of execution, the best relevance. You can prove every single other one: quality of execution, relevance to the brands, relevance to the target audience, or relevance to the chosen medium. But if you do not display innovation, you are not eligible to move forward. So innovation is a key criteria for the Loeries. It's the #1 criteria that I emphasize with our jury presidents and our judges. So key thing is when you enter your work, always focus on trying to understand how the innovation that you're bringing to the fore is something that's actually adding value to the industry itself. So innovation is key and our number one criteria.
Absolutely. Moving on, starting with a good idea. You can't fix a bad idea, so make sure that your idea is strong and build on that. And the next sort of pointer that we'd like to just take you through is explaining your entry. The Loeries is a regional awards show, and judges are looking for strong regional creative work. Make sure that the judges understand relevance of your work, the cultural and geographic nuances, the impact and the reach. And what I would like to add there is that our jury panels are represented by judges from across our region. Last year, we had jury presidents from all over the world. So when you are submitting your work, submit your work with the confidence that, the work will be understood by all of the judges because our judges come from a really wide demographic.
And there's no harm in explaining. Never get to a point where you think you're over explaining your work. Remember, you're sometimes so close to the work and to the overall larger project in which that work was a basis of, that sometimes I think what the sad thing is, as we've gone through this, and as I said, we've gone through thousands of pieces and I've had to look at all of them and look through the entries. Sometimes people are so close to the work, they forget to actually give the granular detail that allows the judges to have that aha insight into why this is so relevant. So share as much as you can, and especially when you do come to certain pieces of work that have a cultural bias or a geographic nuance, what you do need to then do is unpack it, open it up, unpack it, allow the judges to get a better feel in terms of how this work actually lands with the audience and makes an impact in the audience. So keep thinking about this. There's no such thing as over-explaining, and that's the most important thing to remember. And moving on, where are we next, Nia?
Keep your entries simple, clean, and professional. Make sure that your work is well presented, simply explained, clean, and professional. A great presentation ensures that your work will stand out amongst a multitude of entries received every year. Once again, our judges go through, quite a lot of work, and what you want to do is make sure that your work stands out in terms of innovation. You have to make sure that the idea is innovative, it's relevant to the chosen category, it's relevant to the medium, it's relevant to the brand, and just make sure that it ticks all of those boxes in terms of our criteria. And then most importantly as well is knowing your timings. So as you can see, our eligibility period runs from 1 June 2020 up to 31 May 2021. We are excited to see what you guys will be putting through into Loeries 2021. Early bird deadline, 3 May. And also to note here is that our entry fees are locked at 2019 rates up until the 3rd of May. Thereafter, standard fees will apply. And the entry deadline is 31 May. So do diarize and make sure that you submit your entries to qualify for that early bird discount.
Yeah, and I think the timings are so important. Again, just to reemphasize what Sneha has highlighted is you got to know your eligibility period. I sometimes get people going, but my work is only going to be shown on the 7th of June 2021. Can I get it in? And the answer is no. We're pretty strict on the eligibility period. So you've got to make sure 1st of June 2020 to 31st of May 2021. And that gives you a full 12-month calendar year. The other important thing to highlight is that, when you look at these dates, we're doing everything we can to help save the industry costs. So try and get your entries in by the 3rd of May 2021. If you get it in by that date, you're getting 2019 rates, which are amazing. And again, your entry allows you to be a member of the Loeries. So just by entering, you automatically become a Loeries member, which is already something great to be able to say that you're supporting the industry and you're helping the industry move forward. But most important is you now know that all's done and dusted. You don't have to worry about potential system issues happening towards the 31st of May when there's an absolute rush to get those last entries in. Get it in on time, sit back, relax. There's absolutely massive amounts of advantages that come from entering early and having it in the process early, because we can start processing and ensuring that your entries are ready and lined up, and there's no last minute issues in terms of media or any issues like that have us scrambling at the last minute to try and get your entry in, because what you don't want is, and I think everyone agrees, what you don't want is to have uploaded something and then we've picked up an error and then you need to scramble at the absolute last minute, and could potentially mean that your entry then needs to be pulled out from the process. So get it in early so that we can assist you to make sure your media is correct and everything's perfect for the juries. Thank you, Stan. Moving on.
Cool. What I'd also like to add there is the fact that our team is here and we are always ready to help with any queries that you may have in terms of maybe choosing a category that may be best suited for your entry. We are here to offer that kind of guidance. You're more than welcome to send us your content. We will review it, sit down, maybe just jump on a call if you like, and then we'll just talk you through the process and what category may be best suited for your entry, and then we'll take it from there. So do reach out to us. I will leave my WhatsApp number as well as email address on these chats, and then you're more than welcome to call me anytime if you need any assistance with crafting your entry or help with the specifications, submissions, or anything like that.
Amazing. So now I'm going to take a quick question. Please remember to use the Q&A function and share your questions with us. Megan McCarthy, who is, I'm going to read the full question. Hi, Preetesh. Megan McCarthy from Modern Marketing. Brands and the agencies might be afraid to take risks on creative output because of potential backlash or being cancelled. How do you find a balance between creating work that takes risks and is thought-provoking, but it's also responsible and done in a sensitive manner at the same time? And Megan, I think this is such an amazing and perfect question. And therefore I'm answering it at this point because it's not about more of the granular detail. It's more about the considerations that you need to have when entering work and creating work out there. In truth, what we are seeing right now is that there are real sensitivities in society. And I also believe, and we all know this and we've experienced this, there's sometimes people who want to be offended. And we have to draw a line in the middle between genuine sensitivities and those that actually come from a place of purely wanting to be offended so that they can vocalize a perceived offense. In truth, what creativity needs to do is creativity needs to move society forward. We're not making just ads and we're not just making creative work just to be out there. When we actually do this, we create these thought-provoking moments where we reflect and we hold up a mirror to society and say, society, this is who you are. And this is one of the reasons we can hold this up, is because even if it's done in a humorous way, we're showing society some of the realities of what it needs to face and what it needs to deal with. And that's the beauty of the work that brands are actually doing out there. And when this is done in a responsible way, that is true, authentic, and genuine, based on lived and human experiences, that's when these ads really land and make a difference and live with us. But in truth, sometimes what happens is that you do have some creative that generally, is offensive and shouldn't be out there. But we also then should also recognize that when creative is edgy and when creative is making a difference in society and facing some harsh truths of what the realities of society are out there, we shouldn't just allow people whose individual sentiments may be offended or generally want to be offended because that may be their individual dynamic. Then we shouldn't give them the power to be able to then cancel amazing pieces of creative. And I think a simple way that we can actually tell this is that if something is truly offensive and something shouldn't exist, our wonderful jury panel will have the ability to actually raise this and actually remove it from the process itself. If something should not, and if something is actually moving society forward and propagating stereotypes instead of breaking down and eliminating stereotypes, then we as well will have a look at it now. And again, our jury president, this is why we have our jury presidents there, to basically be able to address these challenges. But my key thing is this: do not start creating bland creative purely because you're now scared of potential backlash. In truth, as soon as we do that, we are then going to start a decline for the creative industry. How can you call yourself creative if you're creating bland work? And that's the reality of the situation. By its very definition, being creative means taking a risk and putting communication out there that really lands with society, that does good for the brand and does good for society. And we shouldn't let those who purely want to be offended because they want to be offended, now go out and cancel amazing creativity. And we as the Loeries, I can tell you behind the scenes, we will fight for amazing creative that moves society forward, that breaks down stereotypes. And so Megan, I hope that answers your question. Our key thing is don't be afraid to take risks. Create the creativity that's needed to support our ecosystem out there. If work should not have been created and has gone through an entire process and somehow still finds itself in society, I think society at large and the bodies that exist at large, including the Loeries, will be out there to ensure that we vocalize our discomfort and our issues with this kind of creative. But what we need to do is ensure that we allow creativity to thrive in an environment where consumers need it and are looking for it, and our society needs it more than ever. Amazing. Snap, moving on. So I just want to see in the chats, let's have a look and see in the comment. Here we go. I think this is going back into the granular issues. Luandile Nkenyuza says, in the past, I found the whole submission process quite intimidating, but so far this presentation has completely put that to rest. So thank you, Snare. Snare, thank you so much. Luandile, thank you so much for that. And again, if anyone does want to have any granular information, Snare's put the details out there. Snare and the entire processing team from the Loeries are ready and waiting to assist you in the process. It does not have to be intimidating. We will help you through it and we'll hold your hand throughout this entire process. Thank you so much. Snare, off to you.
Cool. As you know, these are our categories, and we've made some really cool updates to our categories. We sort of prioritize how we can better accommodate the industry. So you will see that we've made some really cool updates to our categories, and we'll get to that now. So within effective creativity, you'll see that we've now extended the period of entries that can be submitted into this category. So all entries submitted here must have won a Loerie in the last 3 years, where it was just 2 years before. And all entries in this category will be judged independently from the previous wins. With radio crafts, film crafts, and lab crafts.
I want to add a quick point. Apologies. Let me add a quick point on effective creativity. I just want to drive this. It's so important for us to be able to show effective creativity that is making a difference, and also, making a difference in society and also building the brands. And that's why our industry exists. We're a very commercial industry in the work that we do. Previously, what happened is our effective creativity category was pretty limited and pretty narrow. We only allowed gold-winning entries, gold-winning excluding past effective creativity winners, to actually enter the category. That was one, and you're only allowed to enter if you had won a gold in the past 2 years. What we're saying now, and we've had a look at it, and a realization that we've had as our fantastic board and committee has guided us through this process is we've realized that effective creativity, the examples that come from our bronze, silver, and gold winners are just amazing. And we've been seeing such amazing stories and hearing from brands that have told us and agencies that have told us, I've won a silver, I've won a bronze, I've received this massive accolade from the Loeries, yet I can't enter my work. What can we do? And having a look at this, and we've listened to the industry, and this comes from us on a point of trying to listen a lot more. We've listened to the industry and now changed effective creativity to 3 years, which is 2020, 2019, and 2018. And if you've won a bronze, silver, or gold in any of the categories, excluding past gold effective creativity winners, then you can enter and give us your amazing examples of great work. And again, it doesn't matter what accolade you've won in the past. Treat this as your past accolade is merely your ticket to allow you to enter this category. Once you're in, everyone's judged exactly the same based on the criteria of the effective creativity category. Amazing. Snap, off to radio crafts, film crafts, and live crafts.
Thank you for that insight, Preetesh. Radio crafts, film crafts, live crafts, you'll see that within the crafts of these respective categories, we have split sound design, the use of music as well as music to individually accommodate the respective craftsmen in these areas. You'll see that PR and media communication, we have added a brand new category in there, internal communications. So do look out for that. And yeah, we are looking forward to see all of the amazing work that will come through.
Amazing. So just to reemphasize on all of this, again, the Loeries, we're giving the Loeries back to everyone. We want all of you to feel this ownership. And therefore, as part of this process, we've been listening to a lot of people who've come through and given us their insights. So one of the things we realized that especially like in some of the craft categories, when it comes to areas such as music, there was an opportunity really to split some categories. So instead of having them all combined into these large categories, how do we then split them out so that the people who are working, who have contributed to this now have specific areas to be recognized for their craft, in live communication, to then be able to, in areas such as sponsorship, to be able to better accommodate the environment we're in, which is this COVID-19 environment where a lot of things are happening virtually. We've made some tweaks to there. And then also, again, from the environment that we're in right now, you will notice that within your organizations or within the brands that we work with, within their organizations, internal communication has become so important right now. It's so important to be able to communicate to our teams, our staff, suppliers, just everyone, but it's meant for a closed audience. And the amount of effort that people are putting into this really now has become a creative effort. It's no longer just a operational effort. It's truly creative in the way it's crafted, in the way it's thought out. So I'm really excited that internal communications, which is now a new dimension of the creative craft, is going to be recognized this year. So if you are seeing any of this amazing work, if you are creating this amazing work, this is a category I'm really excited about and would love to have you enter it. Snap, back to you.
So here is a quick recap on how to bring home that Loerie. What is important is for you to read the rules, really get yourself acquainted to the entry guide, the rules, and submission requirements. Check the categories, make sure that the category that you choose is the one best suited for your work. And we are here to sort of offer that guidance in terms of where to place your entry. Preparing your entry, don't miss the early bird 3 May deadline and submit your entry online. Do stay tuned because that is what I'm going into next.
Amazing, 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 amazing. Okay, Snare, after the next part, let's have a look. And just on the deadline again, as I said, the key reason we have an early bird deadline is to help all of you. Lower costs, but also to get your entry in early enough so that we can check it as Loerie's team and make sure that if there is an issue, we can make sure that there's no risk of you actually losing your spot in Loerie's 2021. So we want every single entry that comes in to be able to go through the process. And sadly, what we're finding is that sometimes people will enter and may not necessarily apply their mind to how to craft the best entry and how to upload the media in the right way, or there may have been some technical issue that may not even be your fault at all. That actually happens. And the earlier you get it in, the sooner we can find it. Unfortunately, what does happen is if we do reach a point where we need to go into the judging process and this hasn't been done, we then have to remove the entry from the process. And I don't want to remove any entry. So get it in as early as possible so that we can help you ensure that your entry is in and you're in contention for one of the amazing accolades from the Loeries this year. Snip, how do we enter?
Great. So you are now on our Loeries website. You're ready to submit all of your entries. You have been given your brief by either your CCO or ECD, and you're ready to log your entries onto the dashboard. So you would just simply click on enter now. After having, if you don't already have a profile, you can register in a few easy steps, and we'll take it from there. So you would then just log in.
While Snare's logging in, how beautiful is the new Loeries campaign? And this is just the start, the Fight the Good Fight campaign, which was created by our friends at Duke. I'm so excited to show the rest of it. So you're going to see more of that. So that's a little ad break as we log into the system itself. Okay, so the first important thing is obviously creating a profile. So as soon as you get in, the Enter Now button is on the top left-hand corner from loeries.com, and create a profile, be able to log in. And once you log in, Snail will take you through the categories that you can actually see.
Great. So you've now logged in, you have perused the entry guide, and you have made a selection of the categories that best suit your work. For the purpose of this presentation, I'm just going to hop over to digital communication and select the social media subcategory. You will see that our categories are either type A or type B, meaning that all type A work cannot be duplicated across more than one type A category. Basically, the principle behind this is that the Loeries can only award an idea once. We do also have type B categories, the likes of integrated and all of your craft categories. So if you have a piece of work in the social media type A subcategory, you can then place that within, you can see that we have digital craft here. So you can place your work into UX design, writing, use of technology, and you can enter as many type B categories as you like.
And just to give you some insight, I've sat with so many jury presidents who have looked at the work in a particular category and go, this work is fantastic. Can we not move it to another type K category? And one of the things we do as the Loeries is we're very respectful of your choice of where you want your work to be judged. So therefore, something that I'd ask you to please do is to apply your mind to which is the right category for your work to be in, if it's a type A category. Because if it's a type A category, you get one shot. That's it. So you got to make sure you're in the right space. So get into the right category. And if it's type B, enter as many as you want. But type A, think about it, apply your mind, think about how this work will be looked at this category, especially consider the aspects of innovation, and then quality of the execution, and then all of the other criteria that we actually have. So think carefully about that as well as you enter your work.
And if I can add this, because it's a question that came up earlier this year when we announced our Entries Open campaign. If you have a campaign that flighted on more than one medium, say you have it's one campaign, but it flighted on social media, it flighted on TV, it flighted as out of home on a billboard. What you can do is you can enter the unique executions that are relevant to that subcategory in each of these subcategories. So for social media, you will either enter the display advertising element or the social media element of that. Say maybe your campaign was on like Insta stories, you can enter that unique execution so that it speaks to the subcategory that you're after. And then for out of home, you obviously enter the billboard, which is still part of that same campaign, but it just flighted on more than one medium. So you can enter the billboard, and then the jury will look at it in the category that it's sitting in. And then what you can do as well is put it all together in the integrated campaign category. It's where everything comes together, and the jury looks at the integratedness of that campaign and then judge it in that regard.
So I know there's a question, Mei Ling, who actually asked me this question. I hope that helps clarify. So Mei Ling, if you do find that you need a little bit more clarity in terms of that, please let us know in the chat function, and we'll be able to clarify during this webinar.
Cool. And upon clicking on the selected subcategory, you will see that a pop-up will come up just with a guide on what kind of media is required for your subcategory. So as you can see here, JPEG, if you have a case study or an original content video, you can also submit it here. Okay, upon clicking continue, you'll be presented with an entry form, which is very, very important because the details that you put on here are then captured, and it is what the judges see when they're looking at your work. So they'll see what the title is, they'll see the products, they'll see what sector it's in, they'll see the language, whether it's public service or charity, self-promotion, and all of that stuff. So let me complete this now.
I think this is why a lot of people get really scared with this process, is because there is a lot of information that's required, but that just ensures that we as the Loeries can fully apply our minds, and our juries and jury presidents can fully apply their mind to your campaign. This is not a simple process where you just enter a few things and then you go back and then you get this warm fuzzy feeling that if you win an award. This is generally something where it's highly competitive, highly thought out, and you'll have to go through a highly thought out process in terms of your entry itself. So it helps you basically also internalize how your entry will actually fare within the Loeries itself. So yeah, it doesn't have to be daunting, but the reason we need the information is so that we can truly make an informed decision.
Awesome. And you will see, just upon completing your entry form and going through all of the fields, you'll see that there'll be areas that you can complete at a later stage, because we do understand that when you come onto the website to submit your entries, we do understand that you may not have all of the elements that will make up your entry. So in terms of description, you may still need your copywriter to edit the blurb or the rationale for your entry. So you can always come back to this. The next part is credits, which is really, really important. I cannot stress this enough. Credits are what we use to populate our official rankings. So do make sure that that this is this is absolutely completed with precision, and you don't want to get the spelling of maybe one of your copywriters or art directors. You don't want to get the spelling incorrect. You want to credit the right agency. You want to make sure that all of these details are 100%, because that is what we use to populate our official rankings. And
it's
you can always
how many,
at a later stage as well.
Yeah, it's scary how many people have typos in this. I mean, this is an unbelievably important part of the entry process, and it's also really unbelievably important. So Sneh, if you'd actually go up, I just want to see on this category as well, one of the things you also need to do, one of the changes we have, if you go all the way up, so some of the a little bit more, okay, so let's start from here maybe. So one of the changes that we have as well is that we also, if you go a little bit more up, there we go. One of the changes that we have, so on your credits for everyone who's gone through this process, you notice that we now have included the agency managing director or CEO. So if, I mean, the agency managing director, CEO is so vital and important as part of the process, and has never been, ranked, considering they support the work and they support the ecosystem that exists for the work to be done. So that's one of the new things that we're actually doing right now. So please remember, if you're from an agency, don't forget to put the name of your agency managing director. And if you go a little bit more down as well, on this, from a brand perspective, previously we had brand representative. That's it, just one. What we've now done is we've now split out the brand representatives a bit further into an assistant brand manager, a brand manager, marketing manager, and the CMO marketing director. And the reason we've done this is very simple, is because if you think about the brands that you work with, you don't have just one person that you're working with. You work with multiple people. And generally what happens is our credits will have 4 or 5 names for brand representative. Now what we're able to do is we're able to properly highlight, based on the work that they do with you, who are some of the best brands out there, and who are the individuals from the brands who are really rising to the top in terms of the work that they do. Sneh, if you're now back to you again.
You can also complete credits at a later stage. And what we do, we do offer, when your entries have been submitted, we do sort of open the credit field one more time for you to go through this and make sure that the details are correct. So yeah, guys, credits are really, really important, because all the names that you see in the rankings, all of the brands that you see in the rankings, all of the agencies that you see in the rankings are credits that you completed when submitting your entries. So from here, you'll just click on save and continue, and it'll take you to a media uploader page. So as you can see, the system is really, it's interactive. It's literally just, like a step-by-step process. There's a method. So here, what you'll do is you will click on a link or remove media. And this what this does is it takes you to a location on your computer where your files are stored, or where your files are sitting. So say that you have gotten all your videos or your content from all of your creatives, and they are sitting in a folder waiting for you to just grab them and upload them here. So what you do from here is you'll click on add files, and you'll be taken to a location on your computer where you will upload your files. Okay, I have something uploaded here. So yeah, upon selecting upload, all of the files that you have uploaded will come up here, and then you'll select what media type they are. I already have something I uploaded here, so I'm just going to tick on this little box and say update entry, and you'll see that it will reflect on my dashboard. Okay. This little note here is really important. Depending on the category you've chosen, obviously categories have different media requirements for different reasons. So here it says that I've met the minimum media requirements for the entry, so meaning that I can complete. If I had a JPEG that I would like to add to this entry, just as an overview board, I can do that as well. So I will click on complete, save and continue. And voila, you are at your dashboard. My entry status is currently incomplete because I have one more task to complete, actually two. I have to pay my invoice, and I have to upload a signed entry confirmation signed by either your ECD or CCO. And basically this is just an indemnity to say that you have read the terms and conditions, you have received client approval, and yeah, because we don't like surprises, and neither do you.
So I think Luandile was highlighting how sometimes it's intimidating, but I think if you look at the process, it's very logical, isn't it? So you register. Once you've actually registered, you then go through the process of inputting the details of your entry, the description and the credits. And then what you do is you attach the required media. You attach the required media as per the requirement. You pay your invoice, and you're done. That's it. It's literally, that's the entire process itself in a nutshell. Obviously, at a granular level, sometimes it can look a little bit daunting, but in truth, it's a very simple, easy process of getting your entry in.
Cool. And just one more thing about the entry confirmation. This is really, really important, guys. We cannot proceed with presenting your work to the judges if your entry confirmation is still outstanding. We have had agencies request to pull entries because they uploaded an entry confirmation that maybe did not get client approval, or there was one area that they still needed to sort out. So make sure that everything is in line, and yeah, all should be in order. Cool. What I want to do now is, okay, I will upload my entry confirmation at a later stage. What I want to do now is make sure that I get my invoice to our finance director, who will pay for my entry so that I still qualify for the early bird deadline. So I'm going to click on this little box here and click on checkout. It's the same behavior as an online store. So yeah, just assume you're shopping online. So the next step is you have all of your entries in your carts. If you would like all of your entries to be on one invoice, you'll submit them all in one go. If I had more entries here, they'd all have one invoice number. So I have all of my entries in the cart now, and I am ready to check out. So you just click on check out, and you'll get a little summary page with your entry summary. That's got all of your entries, your credits, entry labels, and package labels. That won't be relevant now because we're not receiving any physical material at this stage. And yeah, the entry confirmation, which I've gone into detail with. So you'll save and continue. And here is your invoice page, right? Because I'll be sending this to our finance director, I'm going to click on agree to terms and conditions and select offline payment. And what happens here is your invoice will be automatically sent to you. So what happens is the invoice is automatically sent to the email address associated with the account. So at this point, the email will be in your inbox. And what you'll do is come back to your entry dashboard and complete any other outstanding tasks. And you'll see that now my entry is ready to finalize. And upon clicking finalize, it means that you have 4 green ticks across your dashboard. Upon clicking finalize, this means that you are happy for us to go ahead with processing your entry and presenting it to our esteemed juries. And that is the entry process, guys.
Just one little trick for everyone on the call. So when I first did this, I needed to do multiple entries. And sometimes you're looking, oh, I've just put in all the credits and all of this, and I'm going to enter 2 type B categories. Do I now need to go type in all of that details? And you don't, because Snev, talk us through quickly the duplicate function.
Oh, yes, the duplicate function. So if I want to add another entry into my cart or my dashboard, instead of going to the front end or where I need to complete the entry form and re-enter my details all over again, what you would do in that case is to click this little box here and then click on duplicate. And then there's a little pop-up here, and then you'll just say continue. And what this does is it takes you to where you need to select your category. Say I am submitting an entry that is part of that campaign. So I'll go to digital communication again, and then social media. And then you'll see that all of the details I had previously entered are populated here. So you'll just make the necessary edits and make sure that the details you then complete are relevant to the entry you've just duplicated, that you want to duplicate. Cool, and then I'll save and continue.
Ashik Isaacs is enjoying the duplicate function because says thank the Loeries gods for the duplicate function. I know, I feel your pain, Ashika. It's like if there was not a duplicate function, this could be quite painful. But luckily there is one, so no one has to stress. You can easily duplicate any of your entries and then enter it into any other category that you wanted to.
So the same goes for, we also have an edit function. So the same goes for edit. So you just select the entry you want to edit, and then you'll click on the edit, just on the menu items at the top here, and then it'll take you to the entry form. Say you want to change the title, change the credits. So yeah, edit takes you to where you need to complete your details on the entry form. And once that's done, you save and continue. Takes you back to the media uploader. And I hope Lwandile finds this less intimidating after this thorough process. So yeah, guys, go on and
that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, we are excited to see all of your work.
So as you can all see, it's a very simple process. What it really is most important is to think about the entries, what you're going to get in. I mean, for me, one of the things that I look at is I'm very honored to be able to lead the Loeries and to be able to serve every single one of you out there right now, because the work that I do and my team does is really, again, just to ensure that we can support creativity and support every single one of you, because winning a Loerie, as we've seen, is not just prestigious. It's also, it can be profitable for a business. If you've won a Loerie and you're going into that pitch and you're able to say that I'm a Loerie 2021 winner and this is my latest work, it does transform. It does make a difference into your organization, to your agency, to your brand, to your production house, or to you as an individual, as a composer, as a sound editor. Regardless of what you do out there, the truth is that winning a Loerie really helps you move forward in terms of your career. And I'd love to see as many of you be able to go out there and win a Loerie, and for us to be able to support you in this process is an absolute honor. So please, if we can help you in any way, Sneh and the entire team are available. If you need to chat to us about anything, I'm personally available for any discussions that you want to have. So please get in touch. But most importantly, get your entries in. 3rd of May is that early bird deadline. Try not to miss the early bird deadline. If you do miss it, then you do have the 31st of May, but get your entries in and make a difference and show us how you're fighting this good fight in our industry. So thank you all for all of that. Sneh, anything else from your side that we're missing before we need to say goodbye to everyone?
What I wanted to do is take my entry to one of the last entry sort of statuses before they are submitted on our side. So you'll see that the entry I had previously submitted, where I had linked my media, is in yellow because I have created an invoice for it. I have 3 green ticks. The only thing missing is my entry confirmation. So that is ready to finalize. So I'll just select the entry and then I'll click on finalize, and you'll see that the status will change to outstanding payment and confirmation. And as soon as the entry confirmation has been uploaded and your payment has been reconciled on our side, it will then change to submitted, to complete rather, and you have a little key here to guide you as to where you are in the process. I think that's all from me, and you guys carry on fighting the good fight, and we'll keep in touch.
Amazing. So once again, thank you, Sneh, for that thorough explanation. If anyone does need any more information, please get in touch. Thank you for making the time available. I know all of you are probably rushing into your 1 o'clock meetings, so appreciate your time. All the best. Good luck, and I hope I see some of you as winners for Loeries 2021. Good luck and all the best, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Cheers. Bye. Bye.